You know what's
But,
really
damn.
fucking crazy and the opposite of boring is how wild Dave Chappelle's been getting.
Dave Chappelle. So first off, the trans community and
Yeah, they don't like him.
believed that he was canceled.
Yeah.
Then he gets SNL. Not only does he get SNL, he gets SNL and is able to do a 15-minute monologue, which is one of the longest that I've ever seen on SNL.
You cannot cancel a GOAT.
Absolutely not.
Dave Chappelle not only has been doing this since he was a kid, going up through the Chappelle show, doing stand-up everywhere, taking that break, coming back, now being a huge hot commodity because he is one of the only, and I'm going to put this on record, bro, he is one of the only comedians that I believe continuously speaks the truth.
Absolutely.
Doesn't go on stage just to say shit.
Yeah.
Doesn't go on stage just to fabricate shit. Doesn't go on stage just to hype shit up. He is telling it exactly how it is and dancing around the subject to a T. That
Honestly,
it's like, how are you going to cancel him?
I honestly don't even know.
Or even attempt to. That shit's bullshit.
Watching some of his shit, the newer stuff, I honestly don't even know if it's even considered, like if he's even going up there to tell jokes. And if he's just going up there to tell the truth and he's just funny, so jokes just come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because the way he just approaches things is just unique to most comedians right now, where he's not even really fishing for a joke. It's kind of like, I'm going to say what I want. And if nobody laughs, he calls out the fact that nobody laughs, and he'll be like in the SNL monologue, he says something, and somebody's like, woo! He's like, only one person. He's like, yeah, I thank you for that one person that said woo. And then everybody claps and laughs just because he's that great at just controlling his stage.
But if people are just now realizing that Dave Chappelle has been a truth teller since he started his career, then that is false. I mean, if they're just now realizing that, because the reason why he got quote-unquote canceled for that time is because he was telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was sitting there in his truth. I mean, see, that's where I feel like people are dancing on the fucking line, and they're sitting here and they're being really hypocritical about the situation, because you're able to feel how you want to feel. You're able to be who you want to be. You're able to decide your own pronoun, your own name, everything, right? You're able to choose the color of your car. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, everything is just up for grabs at this point. Then why get upset with somebody else's truth? Why sit there and actually get upset? I mean, especially a comedian, where if you can't laugh at yourself and the situation that you're in or the decisions that you've made, then I mean, you have a very sad, miserable life.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? There's no grieving in that process. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't understand why anybody would even sit here and bash comedians that have been doing this for a long time, that know what works, that know what doesn't work. And honestly, no matter what, a stage presence is a stage presence. So no matter how you feel they're acting on stage, this is supposed to be for a comic relief. Does everybody not remember what comedians used to be? They used to be jesters, killed by the king, the only person to insult the king. So it's like, what are we doing right now?
Yeah.
What are people doing?
And it's just because of, obviously, you know, the sensitivity of this new era. It makes jokes not be able to be as funny and as deep and as truthful as they used to be, because comedians had almost a responsibility to not only obviously make fun of every single thing that happened in life.
Right.
I mean, just not they were supposed to do that, but also bring that depth of truth that you could only get when you're making somebody laugh.
Right.
Because the funniest joke has a little bit of truth in it.
Oh, well, yeah. I feel like every joke has a little bit of truth.
Every joke has it, but the funniest jokes have the more. That's what I meant to say.
Right.
The funniest jokes have more truth in it, because it's like, oh yeah, that shit's funny because yeah, it's true. You know, so it's unfortunate that in this era of YouTube and TikTok, where there's so many different platforms to put out so much different shit, people are so butthurt by it, because if you don't like it, you don't have to watch.
See, I think my number one concern about not only the cancel culture, but how comedians are getting guff for some of the things that they do. And I'm not talking about unexcusable things. I'm talking about making jokes. I mean, no harm done jokes
On stage.
on stage. I think my number one concern is the fact that the mass of people that dislike these comedians or dislike what is being said about groups of people or about individuals have an agenda that's going to ruin comedians. And that's my number one fear, is that we are going to lose faith in humor because it's offending everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And comedians, like I said, have been here since the dawn of time. Everybody needs to be able to laugh. Laughter is one of the best medicines. Unless you're smoking pot.
Yeah.
But laughter, one of the best medicine. It's even deeper than that, is that why even be offended in the first place?
Right.
Why does it matter so much?
It sucks because now I can't have an opinion that people don't like. That takes away people's human rights. I should be able to have an opinion. And you can disagree with me. You can argue with me about it. But what you shouldn't be able to do is cancel me because I have an opinion that you don't like. I thought it was very interesting, the approach Dave Chappelle took to the Kanye and Kyrie controversy. If there's anybody who you want to be there as the person who speaks for you, I guess Dave Chappelle would be the best.
Oh yeah, he'll break it down lightly.
Yeah. And it was interesting because as much as he was saying, like, I stand with the Jews and all this other thing, he still had this like mindset of, yeah, there's one name you don't say. It's like, Voldemort. It's just, whatever they used to call him in there.
Right.
You just don't say it. And it was interesting because my issue with and there was actually a skit that he had. I don't know if you saw it, but
On Chappelle?
it was a skit for the SNL that they had that put on that night, and it was this guy. They were talking about the Kanye and Kyrie in the barbershop. I'm gonna sound like an Uncle Tom right now, and that's cool. If you want to label me that, that's okay. But that is exactly what they're talking about. I get that it's jokes, so I'm not saying that he was wrong for his jokes, but the mindset is still, they were wrong damn near for how they treated Kanye and Kyrie. Again, was it like he was talking about how with Kyrie it's excessive. He apologized, but now they have a list of demands that's excessive for him to come back and play. But it's like, yeah, man, they gave you a couple weeks to just apologize. And I'm not saying that you had to be like, oh yeah, I was wrong, whatever. Like, just apologizing and saying, hey, I hurt your feelings, but this is why I shared this and that and the other. And I feel that as if he would have just went in front of a camera, because we all have these cameras right here.
Right.
You have access right here in the palm of your hand to millions and millions of people. So at any point, you can get in front of this camera, do a selfie video, and say, this is what I meant to say. So people, and then he said he had something where I disagree with, where he said, mental health is an excuse for Kanye to say what he's saying. And it's like, no, mental health is not an excuse if you are prescribed medication and you refuse to take the medication. As an adult, you have a responsibility to make sure that your health is at as high as it can be, right?
Right.
I go work out every day, and I try to eat as good as I can. Now, sometimes, whatever, but I try to eat as healthy as I can so that I can live a long life and I can be healthy.
Right.
Because I was having physical pain because I was out of shape. If I continue to be out of shape and I had back pain and knee pain continuously, then who is that on?
Okay, so elephant in the room.
Yeah, the elephant in the room is that he has mental health, and so because of that, that's a reason why it's okay for him to say what he says. And I disagree. And Dave Chappelle even echoed that because he said, well, people with mental health kill people.
Right. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that, is it fair to say that people on Twitter saying stuff like that based on a cultural thing that it's not recognized in a culture-based society specifically, that mental health isn't recognized?
Mental.
And is that why they're portraying it like that? And obviously it was a skit on SNL when they were talking in the barbershop.
Of course.
But that skit, am I wrong on this? Is almost spot on, because
Absolutely.
even though this is the reaction, this is what happened to Kanye because of what he said, alienated a group, whatever. And I don't mean whatever, but I mean etc. And there's a majority of people, especially Kanye fans, that believe that this is all a joke. I mean, we've had people even comment on stuff that we've said saying, oh, this is part of a big master plan. This is Kanye's big master plan.
You know what?
And one last thing about Kyrie. Kyrie was involved with the video that pretty much said that the Holocaust never happened.
Yeah, and then it's
it's not like you're getting repercussions for nothing.
My issue is not even that he shared the video. My only issue, and I want to make this clear, my only issue with Kyrie Irving is that he had the opportunity for weeks to say, I'm sorry for offending people, and then explain why he shared the video, why he thought it was a good idea to share the video, and he decided not to do that. And that's my issue. Because again, if you didn't watch the movie and you just read the title, you may say, oh, this is something that culturally I should know, right?
Yeah.
But once you shared it and then you saw exactly what they were talking about, my only issue is that you just didn't address that and just say, hey, I was wrong. I didn't know that this movie was like this. And I'm sorry that I offended somebody. Not sorry to the media. Fuck the media. Fuck all of those other people. You offended a group of people. You apologize for that. And then you give your explanation. Because I'm not saying you, because I know a lot of black people, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but I know a lot of black people were saying, well, he's just trying to find his culture, and he believes he's an Israelite and all this other shit. And I'm not saying that that's bullshit. I definitely agree with what you're saying. He's trying to find his identity as African Americans in the U.S. We don't have that cultural thing. We can't reach back to thousands and thousands of years ago because we really don't know what tribes you came from in Africa. All we know is that we came from Africa on a slave ship. And I'm not saying that trying to find that identity is wrong. All I'm saying is that particular movie that you shared had quotes from Hitler, one, and was trying to say that certain things like the Holocaust did not occur. And all I'm saying is apologize for who you offended, and then explain how because you're an intelligent person. And not only are you an intelligent person, you have the resources where the phone, you don't even need to use the phone. At a moment's notice, he can make a call. He can have a camera crew, a sound crew. He can have the best NBA analyst or the best 60 Minutes person ever. He can get on any podcast he wants to and explain how he really felt. And he decided not to. And then when he was questioned, he doubled down. That's my only issue with the situation. I want to read this list of demands for you and not demands, but the list of that the Nets had for Kyrie Irving. So, in order to be reinstated by the team, they had 6 requirements that they asked him to do. So, number 1, apologize and condemn the film he promoted, make a $500,000 donation to anti-hate causes, complete sensitivity training, complete anti-Semitism training, meet with ADL and Jewish leaders, and meet with the team owner, Joe Tsai, to demonstrate an understanding of the situation. And I understand why people are saying, oh, well, they're asking so much of him to come back. But guess what? We don't pay him. He doesn't pay himself. The Nets pay him. Joe Tsai pays him. If there was something that happened at your job, let's say everybody at home, if you posted something, because guess what? Like it or not, the companies that you work for, they follow your social media. They know what you're posting. So let's say you posted something that they didn't like. And they said to you, hey, you have some things you have to do before you come in, before you can get paid again. You telling me you just quitting your job?
I think he should do every single one of those things on that list because at the end of the day, at the end of the fucking day, he has to live with the decisions that he makes, just like
Absolutely.
everybody else. Just like everybody else. So when it comes down to it, if he felt the need to double down on a situation that he believed in now to stay rank in social justice, you have to do the things that they're asking you to do. It's not like it's a fucking no-brainer. Do you continue to get paid millions of dollars in the NBA or do you not?
And here's the thing, right? If you think it's excessive, again, he had weeks to just apologize. That's all they were asking of him, was to say, I'm sorry. And I get you can't make nobody say something, but guess what? When you have consequences, you can't say, well, those consequences are messed up, because you had ample opportunity not to incur these consequences. He doesn't own the Nets. Yeah, he makes them a lot of money, but guess what? He don't own them. Josiah owns the Nets. And if Josiah says, you have to do A, B, and C to get back and play on my team because you didn't do what I asked you to do from the beginning, then that's on you.
I think people forget what the term or the actual word excessive means.
Yeah.
I mean, sincerely, because somebody that is, and now this is just a situation that could occur, somebody that is overweight might not be able to do something than somebody that is in shape because that might be too excessive for them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just one example. Or somebody that maybe is unable to do something because they're unmotivated more than the other person. These are just two classic examples. So to say that somebody or a corporation is being too excessive to one of their employees when we saw how fast Kanye got dropped, these are the people that are saying this shit are never going to be in that position.
Right.
Ever. They're never going to be in a position where they would even have that fucking choice.
Right. Truth be told, right? If Kanye wants to say whatever he wants to say with no consequences, if Kyrie wants to say whatever they want to say with no consequences, then have your own league, have your own shoe company. Don't ask nobody else for shit. Do it all with what the resources that you have. Because then you can make the rules. Then you can say whatever the fuck you want to say. And you don't have no backlash for it. Because you own it. And you're responsible for getting the fans. That's why, like, when Kanye was like, oh, they're using my ideas and all this. Well, guess what? You gave them the ideas at first.
Right. They own the rights.
You signed. You took that $1 billion and was cool with it until you couldn't do whatever you wanted. What did Sway tell you years ago? Do it yourself, Kanye.
You don't know all the answers, Sway.
But he didn't have all the answers, and guess what? He really did have all the answers, because for all the people who believe that this was some master plan and he did this all to be out of his contracts, let's say that that's true. Then he's just a fucking idiot, because years ago he could have did the same shit and probably be well off more now. You don't think that people would have bought Yeezys if Kanye was the one who came out with it by himself?
People just need to stop getting mad by repercussions and consequences that are done for good reason when it comes down to certain situations like this. I mean, Dave Chappelle said it best. He said it fucking best. You just don't say those words.
Yeah.
You just don't.
But yeah, he said it best, but at the same time, I'm going to counter with this. People only can do what you allow them to do. And so I know that a lot of the issue with the black community versus the Jewish community is this. We can't say whatever they want about them, but everybody can say whatever they want about us. And you know why that is? Because we don't support each other. Because truth be told, Kanye, if he would have just went on his own, maybe people wouldn't have bought as many shoes. And that's what everybody's scared of. There's too many billionaires and millionaires out here for people to be upset that the Jewish people or the white people have all the power. Okay, well then create your own shit then. Create your own record labels. Create your own sports leagues. If that's your issue, then do something about it. If you're not going to do shit about it, shut the fuck up. Like, I'm so fucking tired of this victim ass mentality that we're so far behind. Yeah, shit was rough. I'm not saying that 30 years ago it wasn't harder for a black person to be where they want to be in life. But it's not 30 years ago. It's 2022. And with this, you can make all your dreams come true. If you decide to. It's up to you. The world is in your hands. Either make it a better place for you or shut the fuck up. This has been a dose of fucking reality.